The night was cold and quiet in the small town of Ashwood, Oregon, on November 12, 2018. In a modest house on Maple Street, 24-year-old Emily Harper sat alone, scrolling through her phone. The clock on the wall ticked past midnight, its sound barely noticeable against the hum of the heater. Suddenly, a faint noise came from the backyard, like the snap of a twig underfoot. Emily froze, her heart racing as she strained to listen for more. Another sound followed, a soft scrape like something brushing against the back door. She grabbed her phone, her fingers trembling as she dialed 911. 911, what's your emergency? The operator's voice crackled through the line. I think someone's trying to break into my house, Emily whispered, her voice shaking. The operator asked her to stay calm and confirm her address, 142 Maple Street. Emily's eyes darted to the back door, where the handle jiggled slightly. Someone's at the door, she hissed into the phone, her voice barely audible. The operator promised help was on the way, urging her to hide. Emily crawled to her bedroom, locking the door behind her. She slid under the bed, her breathing shallow, clutching the phone. Then the call went silent. Her phone battery had died. Minutes later, police arrived at 142 Maple Street, their sirens piercing the night. They found the back door ajar, with fresh scratches on the lock. Inside, Emily's phone lay on the floor, its screen dark, but Emily Harper was gone, vanished without a trace. The next morning, Ashwood buzzed with shock and fear as news spread. Emily's mother, Karen, stood outside the house, clutching a photo of her daughter. She was my only child. Karen sobbed to reporters, her voice breaking. Police launched a massive search, combing the woods behind Maple Street. Volunteers plastered missing posters with Emily's face across town. The 911 call recording was released, chilling listeners with Emily's terrified whispers. Detective Laura Bennett took lead on the case, haunted by Emily's voice. She noticed something odd. No fingerprints were found on the back door. The scratches suggested a tool, not a hand, had forced the lock. Laura interviewed Emily's co-workers at the local diner where she waitressed. They described Emily as kind but private, with no known enemies. One co-worker mentioned a regular customer who seemed too interested in Emily. His name was Carl Reese, a 38-year-old mechanic with a quiet demeanor. Laura tracked Carl to his auto shop on the edge of town. Carl claimed he barely knew Emily, but his eyes avoided Laura's. A search of his shop revealed a crowbar with fresh scratches on its edge. The scratches matched the marks on Emily's back door. Carl was brought in for questioning, but he denied everything. Without more evidence, police couldn't hold him. Weeks passed, and the case grew cold, leaving Karen heartbroken. Laura refused to give up, revisiting Emily's house for clues. She found a small, hidden camera in the living room ceiling. The camera had recorded footage of Emily's last night. It showed a masked figure entering through the back door. The figure moved with purpose, heading toward Emily's bedroom. The footage cut off before showing what happened next. Laura traced the camera to an online purchase linked to Carl's credit card. Carl was arrested again, this time charged with stalking and breaking and entering, but there was still no proof tying him to Emily's disappearance. Karen held a vigil for Emily on the 1-year anniversary of her vanishing. Hundreds attended, their candles flickering in the cold November air. Laura watched from the crowd, her resolve hardening. A tip came in days later from a hiker in the nearby Cascade Mountains. He'd found a woman's shoe in a ravine, half buried in mud. The shoe matched one Emily was wearing the night she disappeared. Search teams scoured the ravine but found no other traces. Laura began to suspect Carl had an accomplice. She dug into his past, finding a connection to a man named Derek Holt. Derek was Carl's former co-worker with a history of violent offenses. Derek had left Ashwood months before Emily's disappearance. Laura tracked him to a remote cabin in Idaho. Inside, she found newspaper clippings about Emily's case. Derek fled when police arrived, sparking a manhunt. He was caught 3 days later, hiding in an abandoned shed. Derek denied knowing Emily, but his alibi was weak. Laura found a key in his belongings, engraved with 142. The key fit a storage locker in Ashwood, rented under Carl's name. Inside were Emily's missing jacket and a blood-stained scarf. DNA tests confirmed the blood to Emily's Carl and Derek in separate interrogations, each blaming the other. Laura pieced together a theory. Carl stalked Emily, Derek executed the abduction. But where was Emily's body? The case went to trial in spring 2025, gripping the nation. Karen sat in the front row, clutching Emily's childhood teddy bear. Prosecutors presented the camera, crowbar, key, and bloody scarf as evidence. Carl's lawyer argued the evidence was circumstantial, pointing to no body found. Derek's lawyer claimed he was manipulated by Carl, painting him as the mastermind. The jury deliberated for 5 days as Ashwood held its breath. Carl was convicted of stalking and kidnapping, sentenced to life. Derek received 25 years for kidnapping, but both refused to reveal Emily's fate. Today, Emily's case remains open, a painful mystery for Karen. Laura still searches, driven by the sound of that 911 call. The woods behind Maple Street hold whispers of secrets untold. Emily's face still appears on fading posters around Ashwood. Her story haunts the town, a reminder of a wound unclosed. Karen visits the vigil site yearly, lighting a candle for hope. Laura keeps Emily's file active, refusing to let it to dust. Somewhere, someone knows what happened that night. Until then, Emily Harper remains a name, a voice, a mystery. Every year on November 12th, Ashwood holds a moment of silence. The diner where Emily worked keeps her apron hung in her honor. Karen started a foundation to help families of missing persons. Laura mentors new detectives, sharing lessons from Emily's case. Some believe Emily is still out there, waiting to be found. Others fear the truth is buried deep, never found to surface. A new lead emerged in 2025, a sighting in 2025, a nearby state. Laura followed it, but it led to another dead end. Karen prays each night for closure, holding Emily's photo. The mystery of Emily Harper endures, a story unfinished.